Hello everybody, it's Daniel here, bringing you a Team Fortress 2 gameplay commentary. So, start of the summer uploads for me, first things I want to do is follow up a bunch of things I've just been meaning to have a look at and I didn't really get round to doing in the past 2-month period. And one of those is Mannpower Mode. Because Mannpower Mode actually got updated, I believe, back in March, and I didn't look at it, and it feels like a shame, because I think I'm one of the few people who was actually quite excited for this game mode. Because I really like how this plays. I think it's it's a much cooler, kind of fast TF2, and a whole lot of polish has been added to it in this update. As you can see, the grappling hook now has kind of like a proper looking grappling hook gadget look to it. Like, it's no longer just a hook and a piece of rope, which it was before, which really just looks out of place in TF2. And I know that sounds weird considering that we've got like jars of piss as a weapon in TF2, but it really just didn't fit in. This looks a lot better though. And they've also added some new power-ups and they made tweaks across the board. They've also added this new map here on Thunder Mountain. It is actually a new map because they added quite a bit to Thunder Mountain. Like, the first half of it is what you'd expect, but then there's just it just keeps going back a bit further. And it's pretty cool looking. Like, it actually functions well with the grappling hooks, and I love how the intelligence is now like kind of mounted on that outcropping there. It's like, you really have to be good with your grappling hook to be able to land on that well. And it's very easy just to overshoot it and accidentally kill yourself. Another handy thing is that using the grappling hook, if you actually press spacebar while you're using it and you build up some momentum, you actually do kind of a proper grapple jump, and it feels a lot more natural than it was before. Because before you could kind of pull this off with the grappling hook if you just kind of released your grapple and just attached it onto something else in time. But now it feels a lot better. And you can of course, as you can see here, you can still use a grappling hook to get out of a couple of tight spots if you happen to fall off the ledge. There's some interesting things that can happen as well though. It's if someone kind of dies halfway down the cliff and drops their power up, the power up actually doesn't just succumb to gravity, it kind of just stays down there. I believe I've got a shot of it in a while. But things can just drop down there, so it's they really expect you just to use your grappling hook to get it to everywhere now. And another thing that they've added as well is that there's now kind of a time delay on the briefcase, whereby if you've just recently capped the intelligence, then you have to wait, I believe it's 12 seconds before you can recap it. So you can't just have someone constantly in wait about just ready to grab the intelligence every single time. Which did seem to be a bit of a problem before, because it was just very easy to pull off without that system there. It's still a bit confusing on the fact that it is the capture the flag sort of base mode for this, considering it is supposed to play as a much faster TF2, and capture the flag is a much more traditionally slower version of TF2. So having those two things together really doesn't seem like it would work. But I don't know, I found on this map, in particular, it just works really well. I really enjoyed it when I was playing on Thunder Mountain. It worked a lot better than Foundry, I found. Because they've actually also added support to kind of get up to some more of the kind of out there ledges. And it really seems to support the grappling hook design more than any of the other maps here. Because you actually have in the middle, you have kind of a giant archway, and you have to pass through that with your grappling hook to get to the other half of the map. So it becomes a central choke point of the map, and that's just it's just a bit more interesting design. It feels much more that it's been kind of built with intent of the grappling hook, rather than just, oh, here's kind of a fan-made mod that was added to the game. So it really is coming along well, and I am still really enjoying it. And I'm playing Engineer on it because I found that just venturing around with a Widowmaker is really good tactic in this, because the speed that people are traveling at with grappling hooks, they're probably not going to notice your sentry. And you do have a really nice spot to actually put one down just in front of the intelligence, which is in this kind of barren house here. It just overlooks the cliff, and anyone who tries to swing over to grab it, the sentry is essentially going to give them much greater increased momentum, and they'll likely just fly off and overshoot the cliff entirely. It's a really satisfying way to get kills. And again, just having the Widowmaker, the fact that you can grab power-ups, it means that you're pretty much just set with the Widowmaker. I've got the Warlock power-up here, which is just giving me a nice amount of strength, and a really kind of devastating hitbox sound whenever I am hit. It's actually really bad. A couple of times I'm lit on fire. It's kind of deafening. I have to lower the audio on that, but it still works really well, and I'm having a lot more fun with this mode than I did the last time I looked at it. So the main problem I've actually got with Mannpower Mode is the fact that it's being tested over beta, which seems like a bit of an odd thing to say. But hear me out on this. This launched at Christmas, and I feel that like a lot of people when they played it then, they sort of like kind of just played as like kind of like a fun new gimmicky mode, and then they went back to regular TF2. Not many people are still playing it. There was a bit of a spike in March because they did add the new Thunder Mountain map, which is like, oh hey, a new map for TF2. We only get two of those a year now, which is kind of sad when you think about it, but it is true. And so it got a bit of a spike then, but really, people are just kind of like glancing into it just like as a wonder, just to kind of see like what's up with it. It's kind of like MVM, which is its own problems. That it's like we don't really play MVM either. And I feel like Mannpower Mode is really suffering from it, because if this was to be released as, say, like a big summer update, because Valve normally does one of those every summer. If this was to be released as like the summer update and just like kind of in its current state, I think people will be a lot more interested in it, because it's just a lot more polished. It doesn't really feel as much like a mod. Like, there's still a couple of things that, of course, have to be sorted. There's still a couple of weird interactions with the grappling hooks, like when you attach one to a clip face, you start kind of glitching into it, and there's still invisible walls about the place, which is really annoying, because when it's a game mode that's designed about grappling hooks and going anywhere you like on the map, just to have an invisible wall and to be able to latch onto that as well and just kind of like hover in space, it's just, you just don't need that. You really don't. And there's also a couple of weird sound choices. Like, you can hear the Warlock power up at the moment. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why it's so obnoxiously loud. But it's a lot better than it was at release. And like, a lot of people felt very disappointed when this game mode was released, because it did just feel like a mod. It felt like a substitute for actual content. And as of like kind of like making this commentary, last update for Mannpower Mode was the end of March. So it's been 2 months without getting any support for this. And I'm just kind of worried that Valve time and how they just operate as a business is really going to kill any potential this game mode has. It really is a shame. I said in my initial commentary for this, I would have loved to see things like maps designed with like sheer verticality in mind. And we are getting a bit more of that, because there's like kind of like highways in this Thunder Mountain map where you can kind of just like pop up to with grappling hooks. But not many people are actually going to find that out, because no one really cares about this game mode now, and I think it's a real shame, because it's a lot of fun. It's suffering from a problem that a lot of games on Steam have, where it's like kind of like the early access syndrome, which is like a plague upon the storefront at the moment, believe me. But a game will kind of launch in early access, you'll play it a while, then you'll kind of get tired of it, you decide to wait till it's fully released, and by that stage you may not actually care about the game. And I feel like Mannpower Mode is sadly going that way, because its development just isn't consistent enough, and it's a real shame. And I still think it's fun for the time being. I'm going to be messing about with it some more, because it's something fun and it's different. So I think that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I guess I can end it on sort of like the cringy YouTube commentator style. It's like, what do you guys think about this video? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. Give me YouTube money. Or even, please sir, if you don't give me 40 likes for this video, my family will starve. It really sounds like people are desperate sometimes. But serious, with something like this, because not a lot of people seem to care. Do you actually care about this? Do you want me to make some more videos on it? Because I'm kind of interested in it, but I don't know if anyone else is. So, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you with something new soon.